Hey guys, welcome to another episode of 0 to 60. Today's going to be budget dual cone intakes for an M54. So if you're watching this, you're probably aware that you can get some awesome kits from BMS and VRSF for your dual cone intakes that bolt straight on. However, to get those down in Australia, they end up being a little bit more expensive than you'd like. Last time I checked, I think they were nearly $200 to get those kits, maybe even a little bit more. And even if you order them direct from the States, by the time you pay shipping and all that sort of stuff, it ends up quite an expensive little intake, where you can do it yourself for under $100. Now, I don't want to take full credit for this because this is basically what was already installed on my vehicle when I got it. And to be honest, I didn't realize how cheap you could piece this together. I did some eBaying the other week and then realized that it's actually under $100, which is pretty damn cool. The kit, which is not really a kit, but basically it's 2 pod filters and 2 adapters. The adapters are 2¼ inch to 3 inch exhaust adapters. So they are stainless steel, should be good quality. They're going to need a bit of a clean out before we use them on the intake, but it won't be a drama. And we're going to paint them black as well, just to make the engine bay look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. The pods themselves are made by a company called SAS. If you've been into car parts in Australia for a while, you're probably very familiar with the brand. They used to be sort of a credible aftermarket supply, but they've really turned into cheap Chinese stuff over the last 5 to 10 years. But that said, these pod filters actually look quite well made. They use some sort of polyurethane for the tops and the bottoms, so it's not going to scratch up, it's not going to rust, it's not going to corrode, and the netting on the filter is actually, all seems quite good, quite strong. I think they're going to be fine. Well, they're on my car, they are fine. So in this video, we're going to get it installed, and we're also going to try and do a before and after test to see if it does actually help sort out the engine temperatures. All right, let's get into it. Actually, what you'll see me now, I'll video painting them just so you can see the process, but you'll see me next when we're installing them onto the vehicle. I just thought I'd show you quickly with the painting side of things. I'm going to paint it using caliper paint for 2 main reasons. You don't need to prime it before you use it, and it just seems to last forever on calipers. However, we do need to prep the surface by scuffing up that chrome finish. So I'm going to do that with a scouring pad, get it all cleaned, and get onto the painting. So I ended up having to use a bit of wet and dry to scuff it up properly, but she's all scuffed up. I've cleaned it with the solvent. Now it's time to get on with the painting. Just better make sure it works. Okay guys, so I've got Dylan here. He's the owner of this lovely example of a 335. We're just going to go out and do a quick test of the intake temperatures as we do a 50k roll on. I've got the trusty Foxwell scanner here, which we're going to use to monitor intake air temperature. And I've also got the V-Box set up so we can get an accurate reading, I suppose, of how it accelerates. And we're going to try and emulate like a highway on-ramp. Okay, let's get into it. Now you can just go flat out. Flat out. Cool, right, so we come back from that test drive. We've got the pods and the adapters painted, ready to go. I've done it like a nice, well I say nice, it's a matte black, so it should look a bit more like plastic once it's in there. But yeah, to get these in, we're just gonna remove the cowl at the top, get the old original airbox out, and the new ones clamp straight in. So let's get onto it. Yo, fill us in. What have we done? Okay, we are all installed with dual cone intake. This being the first dual cone intake I've ever fitted, I actually had to change the routing on the cables that go over the top, just how they run around the diverter valve, but that gave us enough room to get the pod in. The pods do rub on the intake manifold and this little plastic cover on the back of the alternator, but I guess that's what they're like. I think it's time to put it all back together, take it for a spin and see what they work like.
And just so you can see why all the high horsepower 335s run dual cone intakes, this is the factory airbox. Obviously, all the air has to come through this filter and then into the engine that way. And the airbox lid is tunneled like that. So all of the air has to run through there. Obviously that's going to restrict the airflow a little bit. So hopefully by having the pods right there, should let it flow a little bit quicker. Okay, so we're just going to head out for the test drive. The car's been idling for quite a while now, and the engine intake temp's sitting at 128 when we're not moving. And it pulls down about 7 or 8 Fahrenheit once you start rolling. So before it did pull down about 10 Fahrenheit once we got rolling. Anyway, you'll see us again once we're doing the actual power test. We are sitting at 125 Fahrenheit at, I'll slow down a little bit, about 45 kilometers an hour as we merge onto the highway. Aborted run. Cone intakes, 127. Roll on. That's it. Got up there again, but actually I'm just going to check all the data and I'll summarize in a second, guys. So we're back. I've had a quick look over the footage, and the air intakes haven't dropped much on the full acceleration. In fact, although it appears to be maybe 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit cooler when you're idling around and just parked at the lights, once you rolled the power on, it got pretty similar results to the other intake. That said, there was a 2-hour gap between the first runs and the second runs, but the big difference was we picked up 0.4 of a second on the 50 to 110 acceleration time, which is pretty cool, and that is what the dual cone intakes are supposed to do. So we've got to get this car back for another proper 0 to 60 test, really, to see what difference it's really made, which is what we like to do on this channel. The other thing, we have convinced Dylan to go to a upgraded intercooler, which means the next video you see of this car is going to be running Stage 1 Plus, so should be some nice gains. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions about assembling this dual cone intake setup yourself, hit us up in the comments below, and until the next one, peace. Do a hard acceleration.